Today's topic is about how market makers are manipulating you on these meme coins, on these lower cap tokens, before they eventually shoot up to the hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'm going to show you guys how to make sure you don't get shaken out on these tokens, and I'm going to basically show you guys the difference between these good tokens and these bad tokens. A lot of it too is dependent on Solana price action, and a lot of times we're hoping that the team is thinking longer term so they don't just go nuke the project to zero 1 week after launch. So I'm going to show you guys how this all works, and also make sure to go check the link down below for Mashallah group. We've been having a ton of different wins in the Discord. I'll show you guys here. I'll pop it up on the screen. Ton of people are happy right now. We just started the group about a week ago with me and my partners, and it's going super well. So make sure to go check it. We have millionaire traders talking about what they're getting into with meme coins, altcoins, leverage trading plays, all different types of stuff, and everyone's really happy right now. So make sure to go check it down below. And we just opened up a new option for beginners to go ahead and learn about crypto and how to get started completely. So if you're a beginner, make sure to go check that. And if you're an intermediate to advanced trader, we also have the private group. So make sure to go check that down below. So a lot of times with these tokens, what they'll do is they'll go ahead and launch and they'll deploy a ton of money with their bundle and with their market maker, and they'll basically just moonshot the entire chart. And we're going to actually be looking at Biao, for example, today, which is a really popular Chinese meme that's been seeing a lot of traction in the market right now. As we can see, it's about to range to all-time highs, or it actually did range to all-time highs just about a few minutes ago, which is great for everyone that's in there, but I'm not in this one. I will be looking within a few different ranges to be able to DCA on a few dips on this one because I like it, but that's not the topic of this video. The topic of this video is market makers and how to actually not get shaken out by them so you can go ahead and make those 10, 20, 30, 40 X's on these plays. And no one's going to be talking about this anywhere on YouTube because they simply don't understand it. They're just traders. They don't understand anything on the dev side, on the technical side, about how the back ends of these projects work. And frankly, no one wants to talk about it on YouTube because, first of all, if they talk about it on YouTube and reveal all their secrets, then people are going to stop using those tactics to launch, right? All these tactics that these projects are using are making them millions of dollars to manipulate people like you guys so they can go ahead and manipulate you to buy into their chart as they sell on you. And the game with market making and all these tokens that these teams are deploying tons of money into is to go ahead, bundle, market make up to an 8-figure market cap, get listed on all different types of exchanges very, very, very fast, get all these different types of partnerships, then announce that they have a really good market maker a few weeks down the line, and then they go ahead and deploy more money into the chart, and then they work their way to get listed on even better exchanges, tier 2 to tier 1 exchanges, and then they get even more bigger names backing them. And the whole game is to basically sell as many tokens as possible on the highest market cap, right? And that's the whole entire game. And the bigger and the more rich that the team is, the more that they're going to be able to work up the chart, the more resources and money that they're going to be able to be spending on marketing. And that's just how it works. And that's why I tell people that you want the supply to be in the hands of the teams that are thinking long-term and that are rich, because they're going to make the right moves for people like you to be able to make a ton of money on these plays. So what we're looking at here is Biao. I'm going to just go back. I know I did a little bit of a rant, but what we're looking at here is obviously we can see the team completely full sent this chart. And then they have these shakeout periods where this is a redistribution period where it's obviously on a downtrend. New people are getting in, new people are buying these dips. And then they resend it back up with the fake breakout, and then they shake out again, and then they have the real breakout, which all this here is just a team deploying money. And as you can see, they're creating a new high to be able to create those new ranges to higher highs. And then they basically nuke the chart down again. And then here's these shakeout periods where more holders are accumulating, and they let this thing die out. And that's how these market makers work. They'll let this thing die out for a couple of days and let people get shaken out completely. And then they'll basically give people some type of crazy news, or they'll just deploy a bunch of different KOLs to start shilling it all over again. And then this is when they just completely send this thing all over again and they create new higher highs. And that's when they started announcing with this one. They announced that they had a really good market maker, or a really popular market maker, to be more accurate. And that's why this thing sent, because people believe that that market maker is going to make sure that this thing goes way higher, which in my opinion, I believe that that's completely true, obviously dependent on Solana price action. But this thing is 7 days old. It's performing super well. And that's why within this one, I'm trying to get the ranges between $20 to $10 million. And I believe that that's going to be a great entry. And for you guys who are able to identify these factors that I just mentioned, you're going to be able to make a lot of money. And not a lot of money in terms of, oh, I'm going to make 100x, but if you throw size on these DCAs, on these downtrends, you're going to make a lot of money. And this is a common denominator that I'm breaking down on every single video, is that you guys should definitely be putting a ton of different mid-cap projects, mid-cap memes on your watch list, and basically build yourself a list of factors on why your thesis stands strong on that project, on why you should DCA onto certain levels. Like I just mentioned here, anywhere from 20 anywhere from 20 to 10 is where I'm going to be accumulating more supply because I've seen what this thing is capable of. I also know that this team is not going anywhere. I also know that these guys have a lot of strength and a lot of money to back this thing. So it just makes sense for a person like me with size to be able to get into this. I'll throw 30, 40 grand at this when it's around these levels and I'll DCA down. If my DCA is not complete by the time that this thing breaks back up, then I'm just not going to buy anymore. I might only have $10,000, $20,000 of this token and I'm completely fine with that. I'll go ahead and take my money to a different trade and let myself get a 2x here. I'm completely fine with that. So that should be a part of your guys' strategy here. You guys should not be allocating all your capital to maybe some of these other YouTubers are showing you guys how to get 100x in 5 minutes. That's completely possible, but the thing is that your hit rate is going to suck and you're going to eventually run out of Solana and then you're not going to be able to play this game anymore, which is trading these meme coins. One of the most fun markets in the world where you can make a lot of money, but you have to also see the downside, which there's a ton of risk on all these different plays. People are getting wrecked. 99% of people are losing money. And that's why you guys have to set proper stop losses. That's why you guys have to be watching these charts every single day. And if you don't care about the money, throw it in there and walk away and don't look at it again. But if you want to protect your capital and make even more money, at least have some type of risk management. Keep up with your plays every single day. Understand why the chart is moving down. Understand why the chart is moving up. Keep on keeping your thesis points within the back of your head so you can hold strong if you truly believe that those things are going to come to fruition. So that's what this is all about. It's the same thing as any other mind game. And that's what market makers are doing. As you guys can see, they're shaking you out completely. And this is the period where majority of people would have been capitulated. And then from there, we obviously see the crazy uptrend. And this is just what we see all the time. This token's only 7 days old. We see this time and time again. We see these resistance points, then it just makes lower lows. And then from here, we can see market maker. We can see here, market maker. We can see here, market maker. There is no organic liquidity that is creating these higher highs. I'm telling you guys, it's all market maker. They create these higher highs, and then their goal is to drive even more volume so that they can get back all their capital that they just deployed into here. So their goal is to basically create these higher highs so that retail comes in, drives volume, and creates an organic, even higher high. And that's what it's all about. They want to be able to drive that volume. They want to be able to create that FOMO. And that's what they're doing right here. No one is going to be FOMOing into a chart that's slower volume on a downtrend. And that's what these market makers want to do to you guys. This doesn't apply to every single token. I'm going to show you guys Bully, for example, as well. Again, I'm mentioning this does not apply to every single token. And if you truly believe that this applies to every token and that every token has a market maker, you're going to get wrecked. Some tokens have volume bots, which create fake volume. As you guys can see, maybe if I go here on Solana, we can look at the top volume plays for today. If I filter by volume just for today, we can see a lot of these projects you might have never even heard of. And how do they have so much volume? Well, majority of them have volume bots. They have these artificial market makers that are basically algorithmically selling and buying the token to create more volume. And that's why some of these tokens have so many transactions. A lot of the times too, it's the same people launching the same thing over and over and over and over with the same plan, with the same exact strategy, and they just keep on rinsing all of you because majority of you guys just don't see the patterns. Majority of you guys are just gambling and just throwing your money at anything that you guys see. And that's just called retarded trading. It's very stupid to do that. And you want to get into plays that are backed by the right people. You want to get into plays that are going to last. You want to get into plays where you can read bottoms and where you can read lower lows and where it's going to potentially uptrend. You want to get into charts like that because if you're getting into a chart, like let's per se, I just pull up a random derivative, Doge mascot, what the fuck is this shit? You just pull up a random derivative. Here's what's going to happen to you. It's never going to have a lower low where you guys can actually buy into because these things just get completely nuked. Like this thing just launched 18 hours ago. It's already dead. Like I don't understand why people get into plays like that. I get it if you're getting in early on pump fun and if you're, a 14 to 15-year-old kid in the trenches playing with whatever money you want to play with because it doesn't matter because you live with your parents. It doesn't matter. That's fine. But when we're looking at charts like this, we don't want to gamble. Why gamble, right? Dependent on if your strategy is to hold longer term or if your strategy is to go ahead and play this thing for a swing trade, it's all up to you. And that's why when you're entering into these trades, you have to have your own thesis. Don't listen to every other person and what they're saying because guess what? 99% of people are losing money in this market. Why are you going to listen to your neighborhood bro that's telling you what to do when he's broke as fuck? It makes no sense. So use your head, get into groups like Mashallah group, which is my group. I'll link it down below where you guys can go ahead and actually get the proper insight from people who have genuinely made millions of dollars. And that's what it's all about. It's all about being around the right people to be able to indicate these things to you guys and to be able to tell you guys these things when they're actually happening in live action. So what we're going to bring up here is we can see Bully had this crazy run up. I'm not going to try to guess what this is attributed to. You guys can take a wild guess. But this is where we see these higher highs, right? So we see the $200 million market cap point right here, and then we see this downtrend, right? We see a little bounce action here. We see another downtrend, and then we just see this downtrend for, I don't know how many days that is. That's for a couple days that this thing was downtrending. And then we see it finds itself a bottom right here. It finds that resistance level that the market makers say, this is it. Like, this is exactly what we're going to call this bottom for this time period. And what do? They send this thing back up, right? They create FOMO. And this is when organic volume starts coming in. People see an uptrend. People want to catch the pump. And this is what happens in every single market, no matter where you go. People are going to FOMO. People are uneducated and are just buying into things because they see other people are buying it. They have no reasoning on why they want to buy it. Obviously, we can see here this thing downtrended again. Again, I don't have to explain every single piece and little part of the chart. You guys get it. But this is where the market makers downtrend again. This is where the whales get capitulated and they just dump their holdings. And this is where people get scared. And this is exactly when you guys should be dollar cost averaging towards the bottom. We can see all-time highs all the way up down to here. It's around a 65 to 70% downtrend. That's a thick downtrend. And I actually called this, a couple of other traders in my group called this a mashallah group. We called the bottom on bully, literally here. We called the bottom on bully, literally right here. And we would have saw 100% gain in literally a couple of hours. If you would have been a mashallah group and we would have caught this, in my opinion, this is called a free trade. This is literally a free trade. Like, how much more lower could bully go? And this is where you guys should not be trying to time a falling knife. You guys should just be watching as this thing falls deeper and deeper and deeper. And once you guys find a level where there's max FUD or there's max fear and people are starting to get scared, that's when you start thinking about your dollar cost averaging on these dips. I mean, if you were to buy anywhere within the 130 all the way down to the 85 to 75 million dollar range, if you would have just DCA down there, you would have potentially been up anywhere from 60 to 50% on this 100% gain because you were dollar cost averaging at different levels, maybe the 130, 120, 90, 80. You would have been up. So that's what this is all about. I'm gonna pull up one more chart that we called the exact bottom for today. And this is where we made a great trade today. I'm gonna pull this up and we see Monday, right? Not a lot of people know about Monday. It's being pushed by a group of guys that are, I guess you could say, doing whatever they got to do to make money. But Monday had a crazy run up. I don't believe that this is anything organic. We see this crazy run up and then we see another, downtrend for, I think it was like literally a day. And then we see this crazy rocket up there, right? This thing is just mooning. And I even told people, I said, like, this is not sustainable. Like, they're going to have to nuke this thing back down because the market maker has deployed too much money into the chart and they're not going to be able to generate enough organic volume to sustain this uptrend. So what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to dump this shit. So look at where we are now. It's down 70% from all-time highs, which is absolutely crazy. And what happened here is I said, watch the bottom. I called this a mashallah group today. I said, watch this bottom. They're going to go ahead and deploy some capital into this thing to give people a sense on this thing potentially being revived, right? And what happened? Before I actually show you what happened, I'm going to show you guys. This is just too obvious. Look at this. So these are these periods where people believe this is a relief rally. People believe that they're going to get their money back on this thing and all they have to do is just keep buying it up and they're going to get their money back on a relief rally. And what happened? This thing just keeps downtrending. So I believed in my head, I made a thesis that this was the final downtrend. And what we can see here is that we obviously had a final bottom today down here around 29 to $30 million level. So what did I do? I bought in at the $36 million range. I bought in at the $30 million range. I bought in at the $33 million range, $31 million range. I got a couple of buys and look at what we were able to achieve here. So we caught the bottom. Let's just per se, my average entry price was around $33 million, which I think that's what it was. And I wrote up a 50% gain. I literally sold at around $48 million market cap. And this is within 1 or 2 hours I made this trade. So you guys have to be looking at these plays where it's just obvious. It's just an obvious trade. And we can see the patterns. The patterns are right here. I'm going to even circle this one as well. The patterns are there. And the same thing is going to probably happen here, right? And if it doesn't happen here, it's going to happen a couple hours from now. So you guys just have to follow the patterns. You guys just have to be watching these things. And a lot of people don't want to take their time looking at these things because they're lazy, because all they want to do is just look for a quick pump. And all they ask is, what's the play today? If you guys look at any token, the patterns will be in front of your eyes. I'm not saying that this is a 100% hit rate strategy, but what I'm saying is that you guys have to be careful for these market makers manipulating you guys on when to buy in. Have your thesis points, and what I tell people is that if you list down 5 solid factors on why you should be holding a token, and if those factors have not changed whatsoever as it's downtrending, all you have to do is DCA into it, right? And make sure that you understand who the team is. Make sure you understand how the holder distribution looks. If everything looks good, then continue to hold it. Moonbag that as you wish, as long as it's not a big portion of your portfolio. We see Ethereum, Solana having a great day today. But guess what? Tomorrow that can be completely different. And then all your factors and thesis points are out of the window because now the majors are downtrending and every other single meme coin is also going to have a 2 to 3x correction compared to whatever ETH or SOL is correcting on. So you guys have to be careful for these things. And again, proper risk management will always keep you sleeping sound at night. So make sure you guys are doing so. I'm going to wrap up the video for today. Make sure you guys go check out Martial Law Group, and I'll see you guys in a different video.